side pillar. So we're gonna combine the iso trunk here, but we're also gonna be using some glute and hip work because the trunk is attached to the shoulders and at the hip. So we have to make sure those two things are also involved and are organized and are helping out. Okay. So for our side pillar, we're looking for lat, the armpit right here. We're making sure that you're pulling that armpit down to the rib cage. When you rise off the floor, you're going to try and think of what we call it oblique flexion. So she's going to take this rib and this hip and try and squeeze them together. So we're not in this perfectly straight line, but we have this squeezing, this flexion here between the rib and the hip bones. Okay? That's your first piece. If you notice that her elbow is in a good position, if her body shifted this way a little bit, come down this way, then we know like she's kind of pushing her elbow away. We don't want you pushing your elbow away. Okay? Go ahead and relax. You want to be thinking about taking the armpit, squeezing that down, squeezing everything in. We want flexion. Okay? Go ahead in that same shape again. So this is the shape we need you to hold first. If you're unable to hold the shape with both feet out, we're going to have you go down and then drop this knee into what we call the mermaid position. Okay? And now your glute, this glute has to be involved. You're going to squeeze your glute, push your knee to the floor, and then you have an easier time. The load's a lot lighter, so you can have a better time practicing the activation of the oblique. Okay? Now, why the oblique is important, we're going to get into it with another movement called the teapot. But when you get yourself under a barbell and we're doing step-ups, walking lunges, or back squats, and you move side to side, you have to be prepared for that. Okay? Our trunk has a lot of different functions, and even though we're practicing isometric, at times we're going to have to correct different loads and different balances. So we have to make sure our obliques are in working order. So that's what we're doing here to keep ourselves stable. So what we're asking for a starfish now is just challenging your ability to hold that shape with leverage of your body going up and down and your leg coming further away. So let's do a couple of side mermaid starfish ones, okay? Up here, does anything come unglued down here? If anything did come unglued, then we'll just lower the range of motion, okay? So go ahead and practice that a little bit. Yes, we're looking at flexion here and an extension when you go to the bottom. Extension just means opening it up, and then flexion to get it away from the floor.